Hey everyone, I'm here to give you my WWE Night of Champions preview and predictions, and how I would book it if I was WWE. Now, I'm not sure, first of all, I will say this, I'm not sure if this is going to go off at any time. It's been acting up lately, but lately I fixed it. Lately I've kind of fixed something around, so hopefully it won't do that. If it does, I'm just going to redo this video, so I apologize in advance. First of all, let's take a look at Night of Champions. Now, Night of Champions pretty much is being treated, as basically Night of Champions is an in-your-house-like event. The only difference is it, along with Money in the Bank, are treated with more prestige than, let's say, something like Hell in a Cell, TLC, Fastlane, Battleground, you name it. I think Extreme Rules, I think the top three events, besides the big four that are treated with more prestige, are Extreme Rules, Money in the Bank, and of course Night of Champions. The other ones, like I said, Fastlane, Battleground. Which one did they have this year? I know they had one. Well, we know that they had Battleground. We know that. We know they had Fastlane. What else did they have this year? They didn't have Fatal 4-Way. That was not a one. They had another one. Like I said, they had Fastlane. They had Battleground. They had, they got TLC. They got Hell in a Cell coming up. So those, along with the other one I can't think of that took place in Baltimore earlier this year, are ones that are not treated with such prestige. Oh, they had Elimination Chamber, which was a network exclusive. We know that. So there was that, like I said. So again, I don't really know what other event it was, but besides the three that I mentioned, Extreme Rules, Night of Champions, and Money in the Bank, the others are not treated with such prestige, if not more importance. In other words, Night of Champions this Sunday and Money in the Bank and Extreme Rules that have come before are almost on that what is that word? Epilage of being the more premier events when it comes to the in-your-house style lineup of WWE events. So, there's that. And like I said, I can't think of the other one. Maybe you guys can tell me which one that was in the comment section. But as we look at Night of Champions, this is probably one of the bigger ones of the year for them. One of the bigger ones, if you will. Mostly due to the fact that every championship is on the line. Now, of course, there will be some matches that will not have any championships on the line. We pretty much know that for a fact. But we do have a match that is a non-title match, and that's the kickoff show. We know that it will be a six-man tag. It will not be the first six-man tag we have during the night, but the only six-man tag we have, but it'll be the first. It'll be on the kickoff show. It'll be Neville and the Lucha Dragons, Sin Cara and Callisto against Stardust and the Ascension, now known as Cosmic Wasteland. Now, I predict this might be I'm predicting and hoping this is a decent match. Hopefully, because of the chemistry Ascension and the Lucha Dragons have had in the past, they can finally let them have some leeway here. So I would see maybe an opener that might get people's attention, might get them interested. So I would predict the Lucha Dragons to come out on top this Sunday, along with Neville against the Cosmic Wasteland. But then again, booking-wise, if you're committed to get behind this new stable and sort of put them on a main event like level, well, not main event, but sort of upper mid-card level, to where maybe on occasions you can have Cody Rhodes, Stardust challenge for the U.S. or Intercontinental, maybe even the WWE World title and then you could have the Ascension challenging for the tag titles. You know, you could have something good there as well. Now, but I do, like I said, I do predict from a fan perspective, and I think because of everything that's gone on between all three of them over the past few weeks, or all six of them, I should say, I would predict you would put Neville and the Lucha Dragons over, get the show started on a positive note. But booking-wise, if you're still committed to this Cosmic Wasteland stable and maybe building them up to an upper mid-card stable that, like I said, on occasions can challenge maybe for the world title in the form of Stardust and maybe just for the Intercontinental and US and tag titles, this is definitely one to go with. It's definitely one to go with. So, trying to look at some information here. Now, now we do have the pay-per-view itself. We have all the championships on the line, and of course we do have maybe one or two non-title matches to throw in there. We know we're going to get Ziggler and Rusev one more time. So where does that go from here? Well, you had them both get both counted out at SummerSlam, which I pretty much look at as not being the best way to go. So if I'm the WWE, you gotta have a definite winner here. You gotta have a definite winner, and I think you gotta go with Rusev. And if rumors and reports are correct, this would be the beginning of a Rusev babyface turn. In a sense, you'd be doing something that not a lot of fans would be behind or happy about. You'd be turning Dolph heel, which at times people might say Dolph actually looks better as, and aligning him with Summer Rae, but we'll have to wait and see. But I would definitely, whether or not is the first steps to a Rusev babyface turn, I would definitely go with Rusev going over in this match. Let's see. Oh yeah, Payback. Payback was the pay-per-view, the other pay-per-view I was trying to think of. I couldn't think of it. That, like I said, along with Fastlane, Elimination Chamber, Hell in a Cell, TLC, among the pay-per-views that are not on that echelon of B-level or in-your-house prestige pay-per-views like Extreme, Money in the Bank, and this Sunday's event, Night of Champions. But again, getting back to what I'm saying, if we have a Rusev-Ziggler match, I definitely, like I said, think it's going to be the first step to a Rusev babyface turn, and I do see Rusev going over. The other non-title match that we have is a six-man tag match between the Wyatt family, or people call them Wyatt Family 2.0, consisting of Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman, against a team of Ambrose, Reigns, and a mystery partner. Now, a lot of people have looked and tried to predict who this mystery partner could be. And four names have come up as possibilities. Some are long shots, some are strong possibilities. One name that's come up that's probably a huge long shot is The Rock. Now, a lot of people would say The Rock would not make an appearance like this, at Night of Champions, just to be in a six-man tag and that's it. And that's probably true. Rock probably wouldn't do that. He probably wouldn't go out and compete in a six-man tag. Knowing the importance that he brings when he comes back to WWE and how big and special an event, an appearance by him is. So I don't think it would be wasted. I don't think WWE is going to call Rock up and waste his appearance, one of his appearances, to be in a six-man tag with his cousin Roman and Dean Ambrose. So I don't think that could happen, and that's why it's a way out there long shot. The other long shot, but it probably is a possibility, is Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, we know, has this deal with WWE to where he can come and go when he pleases. He can have his talk as Jericho, which is part of the agreement. like I said, he can come and go when he has to. He can compete when he decides it's time for him to come. He basically has a Brock Lesnar-like schedule, but more along the lines of he's more willing to compete on like house events and occasional Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views. And there is a rumor going around that Chris might be coming back soon to compete, probably more often than usual. But the question is, will Night of Champions be the beginning of that? It's a possibility, but I look at him as being a long shot. So not as far off a long shot as The Rock is, but I would say he is a long shot to where it may not happen. Now, the two strong possibilities that could be involved in this are definite possibilities. One possibility, and it might be a good debut for this guy, is Baron Corbin. That's right, the lone wolf, Baron Corbin, could finally be brought up. Now, I know a lot of people might say, I know a lot of people hearing his name as a possibility might think, oh no, you put him in the ring and against Braun Strowman. You put him in the ring with Braun Strowman, and you could have a disaster. Because here are two people that fans, hardcore wrestling fans, look at as being really, still very green in some areas, and you put them in the ring with each other at a pay-per-view like Night of Champions, even if it's not on the level of a SummerSlam, Survivor Series, a WrestleMania, or a Royal Rumble, and yeah, it doesn't really do well for you. But Baron Corbin's name has been brought up as that possibility. Now, some might say it would kind of contradict with his lone wolf persona that he's developed in WWE. That is true. Well, not WWE, but in NXT, and that is true. But when you think about it, lone wolf characters and personas that have been developed throughout the years still still become part of tag teams. It's like, hey, you just come in, team with us, and that's all we need. Show this Braun Strowman guy, that you're the monster, you're the it factor, you're the strong man of WWE, you're the future as far as big man monsters go, and we'll let the rest be history. And that's a possibility. So Baron Corbin is a possibility to probably arrive and make his debut at Night of Champions in the 6-man tag. And in a sense, it would be like a big opportunity for him, but we'll just have to wait and see, because again, some might worry that it's going to really be a disaster on WWE's part if they decide to put him in the ring at the same time as Braun Strowman's in there, and because both are not totally ready for prime time as some would look at it. Another possibility, though, is Kane. And we're not talking corporate Kane, we're talking freaking demon Kane. We're talking fire-breathing Kane. We're talking Kane in the mask kind of deal. And this is a stronger possibility because WWE has been obviously wanting to get Kane back into the fold, and it's a great way to bring him back as not only a mystery partner, but also incorporate him later on in the night as far as Seth Rollins is concerned, and go from there. So Kane, to me, is probably the best possibility there. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But those four are strong. Those four are the names that have been brought up. The two, like I say, are long shots. Rock definitely a way out long shot. Jericho a probable long shot. The other two, though, are strong possibilities without a doubt. Now, WWE could throw a wild card in there and do something that fans have been wanting for a while, and you could see a return of Daniel Bryan. Because Daniel's had history with the Wyatt family. Why not bring him in to be part of this? And a 6-man tag, you can sort of protect him as well if you're worried about injuries. So that could be a huge surprise right there if they decide to pull a Daniel Bryan and bring him in. So the wild card, I think, could be Daniel Bryan, but the two strong possibilities, I have to go with Baron Corbin, and I have to go with Kane as the two strong possibilities. And heck, you want another wild card? You want another wild card name? Samoa Joe. There's one that I don't think you'd see coming. I mean, you want to get Samoa Joe on that main roster spot right off the bat, as well as to incorporate him in NXT, give him a taste of main roster, mainstream appearance. There you go. Perfect. So, Two probables, to me, likely probables are Baron Corbin or Kane. Two wild card possibilities, Daniel Bryan or Joe. That's why I look at it. Again, you want to give him that mainstream, main roster exposure more so than what he's getting with NXT. This is the best way to do it. And I'm not saying he's not getting exposure with NXT. Believe me, he is. But you kind of get my idea, kind of get what I'm saying. Alright, next match, of course, is a championship match. It's one that's been thrown together. It might be pretty good as far as programming goes, especially moving forward, and that's Kevin Owens and Ryback. Now we know Kevin Owens probably is going to be challenging for the NXT title one more time against Finn Balor, and it'll probably be in a multi-man, in probably a triple threat match involving Joe as well. So Kevin Owens being here and competing for the Intercontinental Championship against Ryback could be good. The only question is, where does WWE go? Well, if you're a Kevin Owens fan, you definitely want Kevin Owens to become the Intercontinental Champion because you feel Kevin is the kind of guy that could bring prestige. In other words, he could be the kind of guy that's like, look, I'll defend this belt, but I'll only defend it at the pay-per-views because that's what it needs to be defended. Unless I'm told to defend it, I'll defend it, but I'll defend it mostly at a big events. And that could bring him, and with Kevin Owens being a big fight, being poised or being presented as a big fight, as a prize fighter like character, basically himself in a sense, that could bring prestige to the Intercontinental title because it's like he's saying, hey, you want this, this is a prize. I'm a prize fighter, I'm a prize fighting champion, but prize fighters only defend on big events. And by doing that, you make the championship more important because you make it feel like it's a big deal through someone like Kevin Owens who, prides himself as a prize fighter. So if you're a Kevin Owens fan, you hope he wins and becomes the Intercontinental Champion. If you're a Ryback fan, you hope Ryback retains. So this might be an interesting matchup. Again, it's kind of up in the air where they might go. Do they want to keep the belt on Ryback? Keep the momentum going with him and try to rebuild him again to where he'll be basically where they've been wanting him for the past few years? Or are they going to finally pull the trigger, put a major WWE singles title on Kevin Owens and start pushing him up to where a lot of fans feel he needs to be? To me, it's up in the air, but if I was booking and I want to rebuild a character quicker than I have with other characters like, say, Ryback, but make sure I don't, forget to rebuild this character, forget the importance of this character, the impact that this character's had, I want to put the Intercontinental title on Kevin Owens, but if I want to wait and see what happens as far as NXT is concerned, I keep the belt on Ryback. So it's kind of a 50-50 deal. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. So it's up in the air as far as those two are concerned. Next up, we have the Tag Team Championship match. The Dudley Boys against the New Day. The Dudleys were back on the first WWE pay-per-view in a long, long time. And they are challenging the New Day. Now, a lot of people would predict that the New Day is going to win this match. They did win the non-title match on SmackDown, so they can predict possibly New Day could win here. But here's a problem, and I mentioned this in my video about Nikki Bella. Big E was one of those fans, or one of those people that was very vocal on social media about Nikki breaking AJ's record. So Big E, of course, being part of New Day, pretty much sealed their fate. And especially when you look at it, when you have Vince McMahon confusing Tommy Dreamer for Bully Ray and saying to Tommy Dreamer, while he's up there filming something for WWE Network or for a documentary, telling Tommy Dreamer, hey, put that damn New Day through a table, that really doesn't say much for you, does it? So, prediction-wise, booking-wise, I have to go with the Dudleys. Booking-wise, it's because they're back. It makes sense to keep the momentum going and show that, hey, they're here to, help really establish and put that tag team level on a tag team division on a new level. And with them being champions, they could do that. So I think you got to go with the Dudley Boys. And to me,